Hey guys, Danny Johnson here, and today we're going to open up our Dyson Cyclone V10. We're going to go ahead and assemble it, mount it to the wall, and use it. And so I'll show you a few things. I really like their mission statement about fixing the problems everybody else avoids. And so we're going to go ahead and open this up, and mainly everything is individually packaged. It looks like a lot of pieces. It may seem overwhelming at first, but it's really just all the attachments that plug into the vacuum. There's almost no assembly. So this is what it looks like outside of all the packaging. And as you can see, you got a bunch of attachments, and we do have some wall mounting hardware. So we're going to take this plastic piece first. It has the hardware attached to it. And so we're going to go into the garage, in this case, next to an outlet, and we're going to find our stud. So we're using a stud finder to make sure that we're going to go right into the center of the stud. Watch out for any electrical or water or anything like that. Now they also give you the hardware intended to go into drywall only, not into a stud, and that's this plastic piece. So this gray piece would go right into the wall, and then as you put the screw in, it expands it. And so I like to mount it to a stud so it has a little more strength. Next, we're getting our screwdriver bit, and so the one that fits best was the number 2, and that's one of the most common screwdriver bits for the Phillips cross point. Next, we're going to go and make sure that this is at least 47, 48 inches above the ground, and that way when the vacuum is assembled, you can hang it up without it hitting the ground. So we're going to even go a little bit higher than that. And make sure that you do have your safety glasses. And next we're going to take our support and we're going to put it up where we want it to go. I pre-drilled the hole right there where we're going to hit the stud, so that looks pretty good there. Now what we're going to do is put this screw in, but we don't want to tighten it down all the way. We just want to get it going into the wall, and that way we'll be able to level this out. So we came in with our little screw here, screwed it in, and you can hear it when it starts to really go into that stud. And make sure again you're not hitting any electrical or water lines or anything like that. And so once we get this pretty well in here, we still want to be able to move this back and forth. So our top screw is in and it's pretty snug, but we can still move it. And next we're going to bring in our level. And so as we twist this back and forth, we'll make sure that this is nice and level. And when we get it straight, we're going to go ahead and run our second screw in at the bottom. So go ahead and drive that one in. And now that we have these both in nice and firm, again, don't go too tight. You don't want to crack this plastic piece. Now we're going to check it and make sure that it's level. So it looks really good. Next we're going to bring in this piece here. And so as you see, it has a little trail here for the power cord to follow. So we're going to take our power cord out of the box here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take this end of the power cord and we're going to go ahead and put it back up in through here, coming out the back. There is a little notch down there that this is now resting on that you can see. It matches the same as the end here of the cable. So we're going to push this down in here to make sure that it's going into place nice and snug. There we go. And then there's a little flapping cover here. Once that's in place, we're going to push it down. So we're going to go ahead and push this down, and it has tabs on the side, so we really want to push it down until it clicks. Alright, now we're going to run our power wire through this little channel that we saw, and that's going to keep this power cord from getting pinched as we install it. And so we're just going to work this in, and once we have everything in place here and it'll be coming out the bottom, then we're going to go ahead and flip this back over. So now as we bring this piece in, we're just going to line it up to the plastic piece we already drilled to the wall. And at the very top, you have to spread it out a little bit. And so you can see those circular areas at the very top. As you spread it, it will pinch into place just like that. So now this is mounted, and just make sure that it's secure. And now we're just going to plug this into the wall. So you could just plug this in and plug it into the vacuum. But this is a nice mount, so if you want to install it and do this, then I think it's a nice feature. Now we're going to take it like this. You can see at the very bottom it has the port for our power. And so we're just going to line this up, and we're going to slide it down into place. So you just want to make sure that it does make its connection and start charging, and you'll see it light up on blue. And it came about 2/3 charged already. But they suggest 2 to 3 hours of charging, and it's best for a battery to let it fully charge before use. So we went ahead and saw here that it started to do its charge. And so now we're going to look at the attachments. They all go in the same way. You just line them up, and so as you can see here, just line it up, push the button down slightly, kind of helps sometimes, and we're going to go ahead and just click this together. So we're going to use this attachment here that's kind of like for wood floors. Now look at all this hair. I got this vacuum for this exact reason, and it did a fantastic job. So we have a golden retriever, lots of shedding, and I wanted a vacuum I could just kind of grab and walk around with without having to plug it in everywhere. So they claim 1 hour of run time on this without it needing charging, and it did a really good job. I went all around the house. You can see everything that it's picking up here, and I also wanted to make sure that it would work on the carpet. So hardwood, it had no problem at all. And there is a selection switch at the top that you'll see here to go to higher speeds. If it's on its max setting for suction, it actually is hard to lift off of the floor. And especially on carpet, it's almost like it's glued to the carpet. So you kind of want it on the lower setting. It's probably easier on the carpet like this to have it on the lower setting too, so it's not sucking so hard that it won't move. But it did a really good job on the carpet. I was really surprised. The rug to the right, it was a little bit harder just because it's thicker carpet, but I felt like it was doing a really good job. So you can see everything it was already picking up, and so it did really well grabbing all that. So this weighs about 5.7 pounds, so it's really not too bad. We ordered kind of a knockoff version of this. I went to install it and assembled it and everything to make a video, and it was so horrible and wouldn't last at all, I didn't even make a video on it. So I was really happy with this one. And so here's some stairs. You can see it's very easy to use on the stairs, and there's even better attachments probably for this. There's a smaller version of this, but this worked really well. And so I was happy with this. You're not lugging around the cord is the main thing. And I was really giving it a run to see how long it would go, and it did last a long time. I don't think I ended up needing to vacuum for more than a full hour, so I didn't get a full hour out of it. But I believe it probably would have done the full hour as they advertised. And it did a really good job articulating, as you see, moving it around. So I think they did a really good job with that. And you can see how much this is picking up. There is a full line on this that you're not supposed to go past, and it filled it up really quick even past that. So I'll show you how to dump it out too a little bit towards the end here, but we're right about that fill line. But something I wanted to mention is I was going underneath this, and it did a good job getting down under there. But one thing I do want to mention is that I scratched it up pretty good if you look at the pole. So it's a really nice painted surface here on it, but it does scratch pretty easily. Or maybe we should have had that part be silver instead of purple. Maybe that would help with blending some of the scratches. Now, one of the biggest challenges I have with vacuums is the hair clogging up the spindle here, and as you can see, it stayed relatively clean. It was really good. On the edges it had some hair, but see how it's also so exposed here. It's easy to get a knife in there and cut that off, where regular vacuums you can't really see much of this. So I think it did a great job staying clean as it vacuumed. But getting underneath the cabinets here, under the chairs, this is what I really wanted this for, and it did a great job. So again, on some of the thicker carpet, you'll notice that if you have it on its higher setting, it's almost impossible to vacuum because there's so much suction on it. So that's a good problem to have, that it's that strong of a vacuum. So once you, as you see here, it's stuck so bad that as I'm starting to vacuum, it's just almost lifting the carpet with it. So if you turn it to the lighter setting, then it's a lot easier on both the machine and the carpet, and you can vacuum some of the thicker rugs. And after doing this for quite a while, the battery was still holding up pretty good. And so just going down hallways, grabbing any loose fur, it was exactly what I needed out of it, so I was happy with it. And my wife has used it several days in a row too. The other attachments are very handy, just getting into the corners here, as you can see. All the attachments have a place, and they give you a really nice selection of them too. but it was a pretty expensive vacuum, so that is to be expected. So just keep an eye on the fill line. So as you see on the side of the tank, you see the max fill. You really don't want it more than that. So let me show you how to dump this out. It was a little confusing. So basically it just has this red tab, and as you push just the red tab down, it will open this, and you can see how much fur is coming out. This was pretty bad. But anyway, it's one motion that you use here. You just close it up here, but all you do is push down and it does both for you. It opens, it slides it down. So that's how you open it up. So you don't want to break it or try to pry it open. Just make sure you're just pushing down on that red tab. So anyway, hopefully this video was helpful. Check the video description. I have a full playlist of other ones that I've reviewed. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Thanks, guys.